My employer downsized the location I'm at and moved me to the night shift all alone. They left me a list of rules to stay safe. I work for a fairly large but not extremely huge corporation that produces electronic components. My role is to test products prior to shipment in order to ensure they meet precision and quality standards. It's in a 2-story building. The company has been announcing that due to skyrocketing rent prices and some downturn in the number of orders we're getting, they'd be consolidating the whole facility into the first floor. Some employees had been laid off, but my supervisor said that I specifically wouldn't be let go in the foreseeable future. They spent several months reconfiguring the facility onto the first floor once they gave up the lease on the upper floor of the 2-story of the building. Most of the second floor was office space and most of the laid-off employees were office staff. Improvements in computer technology and AI meant that the office operations could occur with less employees and less room occupied by computers. Once the whole facility was settled into the first floor, I didn't feel much difference. Work was still steady in my responsibilities. Then one day the manager called me into the conference room, a much smaller room than the company had prior to the downsizing, and what used to be a testing lab. At first I was thinking I'd be getting bad news or even that I'd be let go next. But instead it turned into good news. The manager said I'd be getting a substantial pay raise if I'd be willing to work overnight. I would be the only employee in the building. They said the increased cost of paying me more was nothing compared to the cost savings the company gained by renting only one floor. Perfectly understandable given how expensive every form of rent and real estate is in the city I'm in. I was happy for some higher pay for just that reason. My small apartment is really expensive to rent. The manager told me I would not be able to start my lone night shift until I received a packet with a list of very important rules and protocols to keep myself safe. The envelope was to arrive at my home by certified mail to ensure I got it. I worked the day shift until one evening I arrived home to a tag on my apartment door saying that the mail carrier couldn't get a signature for a certified mail delivery and I'd need to get it at the post office. The next day after work, I went to that post office and signed the certified mail label on a thick, heavy manila envelope. I stuck it in a bag hanging on the handlebars of my electric scooter and rode home. I opened the packet and there were some papers saying rules for your night shift. Read and understand this entire document. Rule 1. Starting your shift. As you approach the building, do not look into any of the windows on the second floor. That space is completely vacant. Use only the door closest to the machine shop to enter the building. There should be a night light on. If it's off, turn it on. If it will not turn on, take the night off. Let the manager know and you'll get paid for the night regardless of whether you've got any paid time off. When you enter the lab, check in the conference area of the building. The lights should be off except that the light in the conference room bathroom should be on. The bathroom door should be closed and you should be able to obviously see the light on in the bathroom shining out under the door. You may not under any circumstances use this bathroom or open its door during your lone night shift. All other bathrooms in the building are generally safe for you to use. If, upon arrival or at any time during the night you discover the bathroom door open, and/or there's no light visible from the bathroom, leave the building immediately. Tell the manager and you will receive full pay for that night with no cost to your paid time off. Next, enter the break room and refer to Rule 4 pertaining to the refrigerators. One of the refrigerators has a special condition you must verify prior to every night shift. Check the electron microscope room and the XRF spectrometer room. Make sure the lights are on in the electron microscope room and off in the XRF room. If lighting in either of these rooms is other than that, leave immediately, go home and you will be paid in full for that night, no cost to your paid leave. Although you don't operate either of these pieces of equipment, there are conditions regarding those areas you must be aware of and act appropriately. Refer to Appendix C regarding the electron microscope, and Appendix D about the XRF spectrometer. Rule 2. Your shift. General procedures. If you use any device that plays audio, be sure to follow a specific rule. Other than that, you may use any music player or podcast etc. as long as it doesn't distract you from getting your work done. The rule is, that between midnight and 1 a.m. you must never allow any device to play Tiptoe Through the Tulips, the song by Tiny Tim. This is serious enough that we suggest that between those hours, you do not play any music devices that you don't control exactly what song plays at what time, and that the device does not contain Tiptoe Through the Tulips in any storage medium. For instance, if you're playing a radio and that song happens to come on, no matter how quick you change the station, it's too late. Rule 3. The girl in the orange and blue hijab. You will notice throughout your shift a young girl who looks about 7 years old, in a Muslim outfit in various places in the building. She wears a bright orange hijab and dark blue and purple abaya and jilbab. Her face is normally uncovered, but occasionally she wears a niqab covering her face except her eyes. She has Somali features. Her eyes usually appear normal but sometimes are completely black and very large. Sometimes when she's in the niqab, her eyes are bright red. Her hands and feet look normal except her fingers occasionally will start to look like tree branches or roots that extend into the floor and out and away from her. She should be harmless to you, and the reason for these rules is to ensure she stays that way. You should not approach her or try to interact with her, except as provided in Appendix D, if she's observed playing with the XRF spectrometer. She might try to interact with you, but as long as you ignore her, she'll leave you alone. You might hear her giggling even when she's not in your view. If you see her go into the bathroom, immediately leave the building. Escape by a route that gets you as far away from that bathroom and as quickly as possible. Go directly home. Contact the manager in the morning. You will be paid in full for that night's shift, with no cost to your paid time off. If at any time you go to the bathroom during your shift, you might notice the little hijab girl in the mirror behind you. She is preparing for Taraweeh, and she wants to make wudu. If this occurs, do not under any circumstances look at her directly. Keep her in sight in the mirror and push the soap dispenser 3 times, firmly and aggressively. This is a signal for her to make wudu somewhere else and will cause her to disappear. Remember that this will work just fine regardless of whether or not there's any soap in the dispenser. If this scenario occurs more than once in a night, we suggest you call it a night unless you're sure you can complete your shift without another bathroom break. You will be paid for a full shift, no expense to your paid leave. This is because the third time it happens, pushing the soap dispenser will not make her go away. If while you're working, little hijab girl gets close beside you and cuddles up to you, immediately leave your desk and go to the break room and take the action described in Appendix A. Rule 4, your breaks and lunch periods. You should take your standard break periods, 10 to 15-minute paid breaks before and after your 30 to 60-minute unpaid middle-of-the-night lunch. You must never use, touch or open the second toaster oven on the right, as seen when entering the break room from the lab. All the other toaster ovens, microwaves and coffee makers are safe. You must never open the door of, or touch the refrigerator at the far corner adjacent to the window except as provided in Appendix A. The refrigerator at the far corner adjacent to the window should have a tamper evidence seal on the door. Inspect the seal at the beginning of every shift. If the seal is missing, broken, or the date on it is more than a month old, take the night off and notify the manager in the morning. You'll be paid for the night with no cost to your paid leave. The other refrigerators are okay to use, but as common courtesy, please don't leave anything in the fridges over the weekend. If you intend to break or lunch period, never enter, approach or look inside the break room if there's a smell of cooking. The aroma might become overwhelmingly delicious and enticing to the point of it being extremely difficult to stay out. You must resist. The scent will suddenly and completely disappear within absolutely no more than 8 minutes of when you noticed it. At this time it's safe to take your break. The delicious smells that occurred from the break room originate at the second toaster oven on the right, when the little hijab girl is cooking. If you enter the break room while this is in progress, you're cooking. Rule 5, the basement. This building has no basement. You might notice a doorway that wasn't there before, and inside there's a stairway descending. Avoid the temptation to go down the stairs or explore. We recognize you might give in to curiosity, so we have some extremely important procedures for you to follow if you happen to venture downstairs. described in Appendix B, where the doorway to the stairs down appears varies and we cannot